One day I wrote her name upon the strand, but came the waves and washed it away. Welcome back to my channel, The Fulfilment. I am Asik Iqbal. Today I am going to focus on One Day I Wrote Her Name, a beautiful sonnet written by Edmund Spenser. And this sonnet is belonged to the syllabus of English honors and also master degree of various universities. So my dear students, those who are pursuing these courses, you will be benefited if you watch the full video. So don't skip the video, stay with me to the end. And before going to discuss elaborately, I request all my dear viewers, please subscribe the channel The Fulfilment. Now let's go to understand clearly, to understand elaborately. One Day I Wrote Her Name. One Day I Wrote Her Name by Edmund Spenser. To know clearly, to take preparation for the university exams, the students are asked to know these elaborately. What are these? About the poet first, you should have to know about the poet Edmund Spenser, his major literary works, then background of the sonnet writing, then source and context of the poem, that is the particular poem, One Day I Wrote Her Name. Okay? Then I will focus on central idea or theme of the poem. Next, you should have to know line by line explanation. Next, critical analysis. After line by line explanation, the students are asked to know critically what theme and imagery, dramatic and ironical note in this poem, metaphorical note in this poem, structure of the sonnet, language and diction, style, rhyme pattern. So, knowing all these, then they are asked to know what are the important questions. So, in such way, if you learn One Day I Wrote Her Name, if you learn the theme and other matters of the sonnet, I think you will be fully prepared for the examination. Okay, so my dear students, let's go to know in details. First of all, I am going to focus about the poet. Who is the poet? Edmund Spenser. He was short-lived, 1552 or 1553 to 1599, 46 or 47 years aged only. I am going to focus on his literary career. Edmund Spenser arrived in the crucial period of the Elizabethan period, okay, when English poetry had become enveloped by the overfeigned quaintness. He fulfilled the demands for the homelier things and effected a compromise between the spirit of Renaissance and the Reformation. Okay, Spenser is the first English poet to mark out a new path, to bequeath a living influence to the next generation. Spenser's poetry records almost all the manifestations of poetical qualities: musical cadence, striking images, rich evocative verbal structures, and communicated emotion. Spenser's poetry covers almost all the major kinds: pastoral, ode, sonnet, epic, satire, etc. So, his poetry shows the varieties of his skills. Now let's go to know what are the major works of Edmund Spenser. Shepherd's Calendar, this is a pastoral. Epithalamion and prothalamion, two spousal verse. They are odes. Amoretti, it is a sonnet sequence, a collection of sonnets of 88 love sonnets. Okay. Mother Hoover's Tale, this is a satire. And the Fairy Queen, this is an epic. So, he records almost all the genres of his time. This poet, Edmund Spenser, wrote One Day I Wrote Her Name. Now, I am going to focus on the background of sonnet writing. The term sonnet has come from Italy, and a sonnet is a poem of 14 lines written in iambic pentameter. It came in the 16th century from Italy to England. France and Italy are the places to originate this type of poetic composition. And sonnet writing came through Watt and Surrey from Italy to England. Watt introduced the Petrarchan model, that is a sonnet of 14 lines divided into two stanzas, octave and sestet. But Surrey introduced the English forms, and through Surrey the English sonnet writing flourished in other hands of the sonneters. Okay. And now I have to focus on source and context of the poem. This particular poem, One Day I Wrote Her Name, has been taken from his sonnet sequence, Amoretti. What is sonnet sequence? A sonnet sequence is a collection of sonnets. There are 88 love sonnets, and all these love sonnets are addressed to Elizabeth Boyle, the beloved of Spenser, whom he later married. Okay. So this particular poem is addressed to his beloved Elizabeth Boyle. Okay. Now you should have to know what is the central idea of the poem. The central idea of the poem is conferring immortality through poetry. What? That is, love is immortalized by virtue of poetry. That is the central idea. The concept of immortalizing through poetry. Now let's go to know line by line explanation of the poem. Then I will focus on the critical note and also the important question. This is a poem of 14 lines, and this is divided into 4 stanzas. There are 3 quatrains. Every quatrain is of 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. First quatrain, second quatrain, third quatrain, and fourth quatrain. Okay. Let's go. One day I wrote her name upon the strand. The poet loved her. One day wrote the name of his beloved on the sand of seashore. That is the strand. That means the sea beach between the tide marks. Okay. But came the waves and washed it away. But he says that the tide of the sea came and effaced the writing. That is the writing of his beloved's name on the sand. Again I wrote it with a second hand. Again, this spelling is archaic, A-G-A-Y-N-E, but modern spelling is A-G-A-I-N. I wrote it with a second hand. That means again I wrote my beloved's name for the second time. But came the tide, this is archaic use, and made my pains, that is archaic use also, spelling. Pains, what pain? Pain of writing his beloved's name on the sand, his prey. So there is a fine image. What is the image? That it is compared. What is compared? The tide is compared with a prey bird. And who is the victim? Here, the writing of the lover, that is the victim of the prey bird, that is tide. So in the first stanza, the poet places the vastness of the sea. And this vastness of the sea focuses what? Littleness of human endeavor. In the hands of vast sea or vast nature, human endeavor is nothing. Okay? Now, the second quatrain. Vain man, said she, that dost in vain essay. Vain, archaic use, this is also archaic use, but there is the duplicity of sense, that is, it is a case of pun. Vain man, this first vain means proud man, said she, that dost in vain essay. The beloved said to whom? The poet lover, that you were doing a futile attempt. She says that the poet lover is doing a futile what? That she says the poet lover is immortalizing a mortal thing. That is the writing of the beloved's name on the seashore. For I, my sleeve, that means myself, shall like, archaic spelling, to this decay. And if my name be wiped out likewise, and if too also my name be wiped out likewise, my name will also be effaced, will be removed in the same way as the tides came and washed the writing of my name on the strand by you. The students are asked to know the meanings of these two lines. For I, my sleeve, shall lie to this decay, and if my name be wiped out likewise. So these are hyperbatons. Sometimes the poets use the words in a line disorderly. Why? Only for the purpose of rhyming. Okay? And this inversion of words is called hyperbaton. So, if the students understand this, they will easily be able to understand the meaning. So, in the second stanza, that is in the second quatrain, what is the theme? That is the supremacy of time. Time has devoured everything. So, in the second stanza, it is clear that The beloved told the poet lover that he was doing a futile work by writing the name of his beloved on the strand. She also informed that, like the writing, one day her name will be effaced from this earth. One day she will die. Okay. Third stanza. Not so could I let baser things devise. That means devise. To die in dust, but you shall live by fame. The poet lover says that his matter is not of inferior quality. Baser things, things of inferior qualities. He says that his matter, that is his love for his beloved, and also the qualities of the beloved are of great importance, as baser things, that is base metals, they are the victims of death and also decay, but the gold, this metal, is not a base metal. It glitters for all times. In fact, the poet lover is focusing that their love is not a baser things. Okay? To die in dust, but you shall live by fame. To die in dust. He tells that one day his beloved may die, may be converted to the dust of the earth, but her fame will live forever. In what way? He is going to focus. My words, your virtues, rare shall eternize. Rare shall eternize. That is, my words shall eternize your rare virtues. Because the line is written in hyperbatum and you should have to understand the meaning of the line by arranging the words in proper way. The poet says through his poetry he will immortalize his beloved's love, beloved's rare virtues, and these rare virtues are like the gold, that is not base metal. And in the heavens, that is heavens, write Archaius, your glorious name. And in such way, in the heavens, your name will be written gloriously. So, what is the theme of this quatrain? That is the lover's refusal to the supremacy of time. The lover says that though time will snatch away the lives of the poet himself and also his beloved, yet through writing poetry he will immortalize their love and also his beloved's rare virtues. So, poetry is a medium by which he can immortalize the love and also the beloved. Now, the last quatrain, that is a couplet, a stanza of 2 lines. Where, whenas death shall all the world subdue, all the world conquer, our love shall live and later life renew. Here, there is a robust note of optimism. Robust note of optimism. The poet lover is too optimistic. He focuses that the earth may subdue everything. One day, everyone will die. but their love will remain forever. In what way? Through poetry. Through poetry, the readers, they will be able to know their love affairs, and in such way, their love will be renewed through ages. So, this is the explanation of the 14 lines of the poem One Day I Wrote Her Name. In the first quatrain, he presents the theme. In the second and third quatrain, he explains and diversified the theme. And in the fourth stanza, that is couplet, he focuses the robust note of optimism. Okay, now let's go to know the critical analysis of the poem. First of all, this poem has been taken from Amoretti, a collection of sonnets which was written by Edmund Spenser following the model of Petrarch, that is Petrarchan sonnets. Petrarchan sonnet is of two stanzas, octave and sestet. Octave, a stanza of 8 lines, and sestet, a stanza of 6 lines. But here Spenser has shown his individuality. He has divided the 14 lines into 3 quatrains, first, second, third, and a rhyming couplet. Okay. Secondly, he explains the love, which is a successful love. It is not a love that is depicted in Petrarchan sonnets. In the Petrarchan sonnets, the love is unsuccessful love, but here the love is successful love. The lover and the beloved, they are not far away. In the Petrarchan sonnets, the lover and the beloved, they are imaginary figures, but here the lover and the beloved, they are genuine lovers. They are made of flesh and blood. They are real human beings. Okay. Again, in rhyme scale, it is also different from the Petrarchan sonnet. The rhyme scheme is A, B, A, B, B, C, B, C, C, D, C, D, E. Okay. Now, the students are asked to know that this sonnet is also refreshingly original. In what way? It is not like the Shakespearean sonnets or the sonnets of Sir Philip Sidney. Sidney and Shakespeare have used many images in their sonnets to explain the theme, but Spenser has not used too much images, although there is image of prayer word, okay, and also the language is very simple, the diction is very easy. He has used simple words, colloquial words, soft vowel sounds, and also soft consonants. There are some archaic uses, likewise tide, again, etc. There is also use of pun like vein and vein. This is for ironical notes. And there is another ironical note, that is mortal and immortalized. Mortal and immortalized. There is also metaphorical note, and it is expressed in baser things, that is base metal. Okay. And in such way, the poet has enriched his poem with peculiar quality that has given the poem a unique quality. So in such way, from the very beginning to the end, what we have learned? We have learned that Edmund Spenser was a great sonneter. He was not only a sonneter, but also he was a great poet. he wrote all types of poetry, pastoral, epic, lyric, sonnet, satire, etc. And in this particular poem, that is sonnet, we are able to know his unique qualities, and there is also a dramatic note in this poem because the theme is exposed, the poem is developed through comment and counter comment, through the argument of the lover, that is the poet, and his beloved, that is Elizabeth Boyle, whom he later married. So this particular poem, that is poem number 75, that is sonnet 75 of the sonnet sequence Amoretti. Okay, so my dear students, I think you have learned all this, and now you should have to know what is the important question. The most important question for the university students is that write a critical note on One Day I Wrote Her Name. If you take preparation to answer this question, you will be able to answer all other questions like dramatic note or the individuality of Spenser's sonnet One Day I Wrote Her Name. So dear viewers, if you enjoy today's class, I think you must like it, comment, and those who have come for the first time, please subscribe this channel, The Fulfilment. All the best for you. Thanks a lot.